Hello, everybody. I hope you guys are doing well, having a great day or a great night. And so, we are back again to the harvest season, if I'm not wrong, covering since 2019. And so far, we've been very, very accurate. And this is it's a major event, right? Which happens every year, very special date, period of time. And there's a lot of things going on right now, a lot of fundamentals, events, and it would be a lot of things to just cover in a single video. So let me put this out for you. I don't know if you guys feel, the feeling, the sensation that everything is being, it's holding by a teeny hope. For example, everything, a lot of people, the markets, waiting for the Fed pivot. So it is fair to say that if it wasn't for the Fed pivot, everything would be doomed already. Okay, so the meeting starts tomorrow and then it ends on 18, and so we are at the door of the last major event before the markets collapse. Uh, excuse me. So a lot of people reached me with this question. Every time the Fed starts to cut rates, a crash happens, or let's say a major event that takes place, which is true, but there is a big thing here to consider. Back in the past, when they start to, for example, the last time, when they started to cut rates, did we had big inflation or not? Because all those things add up. You know, for example, it is going to be a severe crash or is going to be just a correction. Okay, because I will tell you this, there's a lot of people who talk about a bear market, a crash, and uh, so the black swan will happen. Okay, but again, when we everyone talking about a bear market, it's wrong. And why it's wrong? Because we are never going to see, excuse me, a bear market, for example, on the US economy, or at least not in 10 years, maybe 15. But this is a thing, okay? Because in order to have a trend reversal, it will take many, 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 many years to have such proof to be able to call a bear market. Okay, corrections will happen all the way, every market, it's very healthy, but they don't change the trend. Okay, so this is very important to consider, to think about. And every time you see someone calling for a trend reversal, it's dangerous, okay? Because a lot of people will make the wrong decisions based on bad calls or calls that are not even technically valid, you know? Okay, so before we do start, so we're going to talk about a little about Dow Jones. You guys are aware gold is at new highs. So the dollar is going down big time, the dollar index. Okay, so the dollar strength. Um, yeah, so we are going to cover this plus crypto, especially cryptocurrencies, the crypto market. We have some things to consider, and also the out season. We have a clue about the out season, which the last video I recorded about the out season, which is called Altseason Roadmap. We were right, and why? Because in that point was the bottom. I recorded just a few weeks before the very bottom. So, which means some people may say, well, it haven't started. Well, really? So why today you can buy at the same prices that the back in the data that I record the video. So that's the bottom, folks. A bottom is not a straight move up. It comes with development and then it starts to unfold. Okay, and also we can forget that the market mechanics today, it is not the same as it was back in 15, 16, and 17. A lot of things changed. Okay, so let's get started, and I will answer that question about the when the Fed start to cut rates. Okay, so just a moment because I have something very important to share with you, which is right here. So first I will share one thing, then the other, then we will make sense about all of it. Okay? So let's start with this one right here. So just a second. Let me see if you guys can see it. Yeah. Okay, so this is not updated. Okay. Also, it takes some time for the data to be added here. But what you guys need to see here is the sun reached for 380, if I'm not wrong, sunspots, which was, folks, a record if we look back into more than 100 years, back to the 19th. And I have to take a better look at it, but based on this mini graph here, it seems the last time it happened, it's probably back here. If it happened, okay, I have to take a look. I don't remember exactly. Okay, so this is one thing. The other thing is it it reached so let's say 400, round number, 400 sunspots, and then come down to 150, which is a sharp, strong decline. Okay, so that's some people thought that it was a cryptic message on YouTube, but my opinion at this moment, I'm 99% sure that that 380, 400 sunspots was the apex of this solar cycle. Okay, what does it mean? It means that from that moment till, let's say, the next 12, 15, maybe 12, 20 months, which is very unlikely, so just talking about probabilities, it is the consolidation before the sun start its minimus solaris path. So again, from zero to the apex, from the apex to minimus solaris. Okay, so for 400 down to zero, it's a path, right? It takes some time to happen, but it always happens the same way. Now let's move to the other uh, chart here. So we have this one. It was shared by a friend, which he saw this, if I'm not wrong, on Twitter, and I don't remember the guy name, folks. So please forgive me. So this is not my work, okay? But you guys can see it was released, or the source, by Cross Border Capital, okay? So these guys, folks, let's say all of them, they have like a jack of all trades. They have a tool that they rely, that they trust. It's kind of a methodology, okay? So in this one, they measure the liquidity cycle, which I'm going to show to you guys. It is connected to the solar cycle, okay? So a lot of people, a lot, are being calling for the crash of crashes every day. You know, everything that happens, all this time it is going to crash. It's going to collapse. Stocks, the dollar, it's like the doomsday party, every day they are partying, talking about how it is going to be the end, and then it never comes, but then the bill comes and they don't have money. It's very sad. But again, this tells us that we are far from the crash. Far in a scale of time, what does it mean? In my opinion, it means that we have 12, maybe 15 months once the Fed pivot takes place. So this is what I'm reporting also about my plan for years. That once the Fed pivot happens, then the countdown begin. Okay. Oops, sorry. So that's the thing, folks. Once it starts, the countdown begins. That's it. Straight, simple, and easy to catch up. So now, oh, and also that there is a thing. We've been studying and developing a new way to engage in the markets, a long-term way, which is it's something nice, it's something cool. And then I started to, so we always talk about the midway, right? So zero, A and B, or zero, one, and two, or the battle of midway, or the 50%. But when we look into a linear chart like this, we can see here, it's very clear, and not only here, that we don't have only bottoms and tops. Sometimes it from the bottom to the, let's say, to the midway, and then goes down again, which we should expect based on probabilities, or logic, that we should go up. And this, folks, it's kind of a big deal. Very, very important thing. Probably it's a long conversation, so maybe we should talk about this in another video, okay? But I want you guys to think here is we have a bottom, so there's a change, okay? So we have the QE and then the QT, and now with the Fed pivot, we are going to see access to cheap money again, okay? But I don't think there is enough time in the chart you guys are seeing the last leg down below 2022, 3, and 4, that we have, for example, time to reach the dashed line, okay? Because the window is too short. You see? So 12 months, 15, maybe 15 would be overextended in my opinion, okay? So now let me show you the other, just a moment, folks. So this one right here, it may be a lot of information, but the only thing that you guys should consider right now, it's the blue bars. Okay? So what the blue bars represent? Crashes, big events, major events, and so for example here, we had a decline in liquidity, but we didn't had, let's say, a major event. We had in 1989, if I'm not wrong, I have everything here, folks. Just give me a second. I have a complete list. I've been doing a big research, especially when talking about such important things. It's always important to not miss dates, right? 1990, 91. No, it's way before. 81. Okay, 81 we already have there. 80. Yeah, folks, I don't have in this list, but I will have in the other because this one is abbreviated. You guys can see it. Just let Let me show it to you. Okay, so I wrote all this down because why? When we can copy paste, because it is important to remember. Okay, so when you write, you have to read, and then you can easily access your memory later on when talking about it, even though it's a lot of things and it's very hard to remember exactly dates. Okay, but let's go. So all those major crashes or big events, they always happen, excluding the last two, or let's say, so we have to go back. I will have to do, probably I have to do this again. I don't remember exactly. I already did this. Um, and I share on the Sun Cycle Against Markets video. It's there, okay? So I already did it, but I don't record exactly. But right close to the apex, a major crash. Here, right after the apex. Here, right after, in between. This one was the C19, which was not on top of it, but was still before the Maximus Solaris period of time when it goes from 0 to the apex. Okay, so and yeah, and now there is nothing, everything is okay, everything appears to be good, but it is not, and we do know it is not. So maybe the black swan that people sometimes talk about, which, so let's say this. A black swan is something that nobody expected, nobody talking about it, a very surprise. Okay. Today, in my humble opinion, it is not going to be a black swan. And why? Because we do know and we can see how things are in their last breath, surviving by holding by a teeny hope, you know. So that's why I believe it is not going to be a surprise event. Okay. So for example, if I was able to see it 40 years ago, it may be a surprise for some, but for me it is not. Okay. So now let's get started with the charts. So this is Dow Jones. Let's start with Dow Jones, the king, the most important chart of them all. Even when we talk about crypto, we have always to consider Dow Jones. So I started to do what I'm going to do right now. You guys will understand, and it is something that I'm doing from time to time when the action, so let's say the asset behavior doesn't make sense, or when we do add and consider a average, it stays in the average despite crazy move up or crazy move down. So for example, you guys will remember when Trump was elected president, we had what was called the Florida candle, you know. So it goes up, goes far from the average, and then comes back, goes down, to then come back to the average. So if we talk about numbers, it's 1 minus 1, 0, back to the average. Okay. So I'm telling you guys this because you have to understand what I'm going to do here. Okay. So this is the 12 months chart on Dow Jones. 12 months. Uh, okay. So here, if we do consider this whole period of time right here, which is a long time, we have a average. Okay. Kind of a grinding behavior. Okay. So what happened? It went straight up, far away from the average, straight down, far away from the average. Can you see? To then comes back to the average. So what I want to show is if we do remove or not account both moves, what we end up with looking at pivots. This one will be out of order, but there is no problem. So when we excluded the high one and the lower one, the action is still in the average. Okay. And at this point, you may be asking yourself, okay, so what is the point about this? The point is, if we do count Elliott waves here, pay attention, folks, acknowledging this guy and this guy right here, the waves wouldn't match or wouldn't make sense. But if we do apply this method, removing the high and the low, staying the average, we have, so again, I will draw the line again. Okay, that's the average for this whole period of time. And so here we have a zero, a big zero, which is, let's say, the base. Okay, oops. Oh, it's here. Okay, okay, okay. I already did it not long ago. It's sent to the back. Yes. Okay, so here we have the average and we can consider this as zero. Okay. Where are you, sir? We can do using the tool or not, doesn't matter. It is just for you guys to have a better visual representation. Okay. So if we go from here or from here or from here, doesn't matter. It's still the same structure. I want to use a blue, not a blue. No, no blue. Okay, so 5, where is 5 place? Certainly not 75k. Can be. So this is the thing. Can be 50,000. Can be. 50,000 is a very key level for Dow Jones. Okay, we do know for sure 46368 that I read shared with you guys. Okay, and yeah, so it's kind of thing that you look and think, well, there is not a lot of room, right? Yes. So now the question. Also, let's draw a line here. January 2026, whatever. Can be December, January. It is not going to make a difference. 1929. So remember when I said that we have little time, 12, 15 months, whatever, it's very little time. Okay, so we are at the very door. I don't know if you guys remember when I covered the 2020 crash, I shared everything with details on the second week of December 2019. So we were at the door. Okay, we have little time. And now I'm doing the same thing. And once again, we have little time. So this one I covered 4 years ago, back in 2020, as you guys remember. But it's a weird feeling, you know. 40 years ago, talking about what is going to happen next year, it's uh, it's wild. And then I'm here after almost 5 years covering the thing that I explained that is going to happen. It is it's something else, folks. The feeling it's wild. It's wild. Okay, so now let's go to the Dixie. Okay, so the Dixie is going down big time, but not straight down. So just like Dow Jones, it is going to go down, then it is going to stabilize just a little bit, and then going to the target. And remember, when the Dixie reaches its target, bonds we also make a reversal. Bonds, folks. Yes, yes, we already talked about this, but yeah, it's very, very important. Okay, so here we are. I was working with some numbers here, and if I'm not wrong, I don't remember exactly. So I'll make a solo video here, okay? But yeah, so it seems to me that there is a big probability that the dollar index can reach 81. Okay, 81. I will share the video in time and within details, more information, also for you guys to prepare and do whatever you're gonna do. Okay, because excuse me, folks, you guys also remember what are the things that are going up: the euro, the British pound, and a few others. Okay, so again, if you are, for example, in a country outside the United States, so this is not arbitrage. This is a smart move, okay? Or protecting your capital. Yes, you can protect your capital or whatever it is just by switching currencies, okay? So this is nothing new. There are key people there doing this for probably 200, 100 years, you know? So you can do it as well, okay? Yeah, so now let's move to let me see. So gold, there is no news about gold. Gold is looking fantastic. The dollar is going down. Euro is going up. What is the euro trend? Okay, so the euro trend, it's bullish, right? But there are signs, small signs, that can be showing that it is going to change. And why? Why I'm saying this? 55% of the euro basket is composed by dollars. Okay, so the dollar going up will have impact. The dollar going down big time will have an impact. And one of the things, so I'm talking about clues. I'm not calling for a change yet. But when we start to see, so this is one of the things that I talked about back in the day. It's I give it a funny name, so the chameleon theory. When the pivots start to change their direction, orientation, it's a sign of weakness. Okay, and things that show a sign of weakness, it is not a sign of strength. So I can consider something that weak strong. Okay, so can you see this? How the line start to bend. There are 1 million ways to talk about this. I'm just trying to give you a different perspective, okay, on how I see it. Also, we do know by a matter of fact that right now this is looking good. It is a fact, not an opinion. So, usually, forgive me, usually the payoff, or let's say the price or the reward for a falling wedge, it's 50%. But a 50% only move doesn't make a bullish continuation. So this is very, very key, folks, because when we do consider a bullish triangle or symmetrical or non-symmetrical triangle. So for example, let's say this was the case. So that's not what we have here, okay? Just for guys to have an idea about the fundamental, the thing we want to talk about. So let's say this uh, was going to develop. Such a move like this will happen, which if we do measure using Fibonacci or even visually looking at it, we can see that this is higher above the 50% mark, which means the 50% payoff for a falling wedge. It is not a rule, but a perception made by the trend. Okay, so for example, if the trend is going to trend or there are limitations, then the 50% makes sense. Otherwise, it's a bullish, uh, let's say, endorsement expectation, you know? Excuse me. So, this is the dollar and this is the euro. Right now, we have one bull and one bear. What I'm what I'm trying to share with you here, guys, is I believe that at some point we are going to see a change in mechanics here. And the reason is, again, because the euro is made by 55% of US dollars. Okay. Uh, the technical fundamental is the target for the dollar, if I am right, I said 82, maybe 82. Yes, maybe 82. No, flat levels, probably not going to happen. So or it is going to be here. So this is just playing, okay? So I can't give you a right projection right now. I have to do this and take a look into straight numbers and make a call like I made it for the very top here that you guys remember that I nailed it in advance, 1 or 2 years in advance, okay? I'm hope I can do the same thing now. So 84, or let's say it is not going to be flat. It is highly, highly unlikely. So for now, I'm going to work with this number right here. So just for you guys to see why the even a 50% or even 60, it is going to be bearish, okay? And let me show you right now. Okay, so visually, I can understand that this is just above the 50, not a big deal. Okay, 6180. Well, this was, whoa, was straight on. Okay, so this is nice. So, if at this moment this practice target it's right and the dollar stops around here, then it is a bearish signal. Very, very. Okay, so we already have some. But visually speaking, looking to facts, that it is going to be or can be a major turning point. And folks, the most important thing here is that so this is not a my team, your team, what I want, what I don't want. I support this, you support that. No, folks. It doesn't matter if people like or not the dollar, the euro, whatever. The thing is, all the currencies are going to be based one to one in the near future. That's it, folks. That's their goal for the next global economy. That's it. So, in this in between, all these big moves can happen, a change, because things are going to change. So, in order to change, we gotta see two different trends colliding. Okay, it's like when two moving averages cross one another. So that you guys probably heard there is the golden cross and the death cross. Okay, but even so, both are lagging indicators. Okay, so now let me see. Let's talk about the trial. Yes, because there are some people who are freaking out. We have all over bears. And let's go straight into the facts. So no, 3 months, no, just the monthly. Okay, what are the facts? Because the first thing we want, what is? We want the truth. We seek the truth. What is the second most important thing after the truth? Facts. Because without facts, we can have the truth. Okay. So fact is the move that Ripple made to pick that man money and lock into a bank account, two things happen, maybe three. They put in check the SEC credibility. Okay. Second, now it seems that the SEC it is not a U.S. institution that holds uh, honor. You know that they don't keep up to their word. So, and this is a big blow to their image. Okay. So, not only for the companies or projects that they are going to sue, but the uh, I forgot the word in English. It's precedent. So they created a precedent in this trial, which is only harming their image day after day. Okay, so Ripple is completely okay. Ripple, XRP, everything's fine. But for the SEC, everything's going downhill day after day. Okay, so uh, another fact: if Ripple paid on date, the SEC still could appeal. So it was the best move they could make, right? So it is just a great move because imagine if just think about this: if Ripple paid and then the SEC, okay, no, everything's fine, okay, all good, and then they appeal, Ripple would be presented as the fools, that were misled by the SEC. The SEC is, you can trust the SEC, but the SEC still uh, can bring shame on you, So it's completely ridiculous. But for the haters, one way or another, uh, it is bad. When in reality, there is nothing bad at all. In my opinion, it is just great the way it is. Things are going. So the second fact is some people who are not connected or don't know anything about what is going on the SEC said the SEC will appeal. Here is the fact. If the SEC is going to appeal or not, all of the ones who have a voting power, They have to make a meeting, inside meeting, and then vote if they are going to appeal or not. Okay, this is a fact. So not even the SEC today know what they are going to do. What else? People outside. Okay, so the other thing is to appeal they have to pay around 25, $30 million. So uh, I just want to thank all the friends and everybody who's been exchanging information, sharing things. You guys are great. Thanks for everything. So in every trial process, you have to pay to appeal. Okay, so that's no news. But $25 million after almost 5 years, all the shame, all the lack of fundamentals, all the things that they said that is not true. They asked for $1 billion. The judge gave them 100. What else more the SEC wants to blow themselves up? I see a trend here. I see Ripple, XRPL, XRP making developing more and more things, having more and more clients, connecting even more banks and financial institutions, being the head of ISO 222. It's a trend, it's a bullish trend. But when we do look into United States regulations, it is a shame. It is just a shame. So no regulations, no clarity. The SEC is playing fools of everybody. It's a downtrend, and soon it is going to blow up. Okay, so Gary Gensler, it is just probably the last nail in this coffin. Okay, so nothing changes since the last video I made for XRP. It's looking fantastic. It's looking great. It's solid. And XRP is not the only one with this behavior. Okay, so let me show you just one example right here. Monero is having the exact same behavior. Okay, which it is not something. Oh, it's different. Yes, it's different, but we do know the mechanics are changing since 15, 16, and 17. Okay, uh, we had a prime, or let's say a best way to approach and look into patterns, and these are changing day after day because the market learns and they don't want people to make as much money as they are making. Okay, so folks, this is completely fantastic. Mm, nothing changed, folks. Nothing, absolutely nothing. The 50% principle, yes, good, looking great. Just down below 6180, it's the cage, Pandora's box, and soon it is going to open. Now, if we do look again, nothing changed as well. We don't need fancy analysis. Oh, this and that. Oh, line is all over. Bang, bang. Zigzags all over. No, it is not going to happen. Doesn't make any sense. Some people are drawing lines like this. I saw. Oh, okay. So there is one that they are calling for that happened a break already, but no, it is not. It haven't. It's because they don't use the logarithmic scale. Okay. So there is an issue here, right? We are not touching. And when we do, we violate these last candles right here. But one way or the other, nothing will change because we have other way to do this, which we already made, already shared with you guys. There is no news. From pivots to pivots, and this is what we have right now. Maybe this guy here, yes. Maybe this other one here, yes. It is not the best picture, no, but the big picture, the big thing here, it's telling us that this is, of course, no doubt, zero doubt, a bullish structure, which it is going to result in bullish outcome. No news. Okay, so now let me show you something about Bitcoin. I will have to make a video about the targets, right? I have to make that video. Yes, I have to. So at this moment, Bitcoin is looking great, fantastic. There are some people who believe we can see another downside before going back up. Folks, it, it can happen. At this moment, I don't know. I can't see any evidence. Okay, so it is not something that I would say could happen right now. And also the Fed pivot, it is just at the door. Okay, so would would we go down on the Fed pivot? I don't think it makes sense. I don't think so. Just a second, folks. Folks, before we move on, just one more thing. So the Fed cutting rates will bring the markets down. Yes, in the long term, which means it is not going to happen now in the next 2 or 3 or 5 months. Everything takes some time to develop for the upside or to the downside. Okay, so yes. So the thing is, one way or another, everything is going down. The Fed pivot, it's only buying some time. It is the last card they could play to extend, to give some another breath. Okay, so yeah, and just one more thing, I just saw in the some expectations about the markets. My friends just shared that some people are believing the Fed may cut 75 points. I don't think so. It's highly unlikely. 50, I also believe it's highly unlikely because they can cut 25 points now and then another 25 in December or 50 in December. But I don't think so. In my humble opinion, it's 55, 25, and then 25 again. Maybe 50 on last year, but we will know. Okay. So again, Bitcoin is looking great. I don't see any danger in the short term, not at all. There is one thing here, maybe the first stop we will see for Bitcoin on the way to the new highs and to its target, which already talked about it many times. But again, I will make a solo video for the targets because it is important for the future, also for understanding, learning, uh, yeah, a lot of things. So this structure right here, I don't believe so. Structures are made of patterns of 2 and 3s. The standard is 3. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so 2 usually happens in between, inside bars, inside action. Okay, so for this one right here, we are ahead of 2, going to 3. Okay, and so the thing is, There is also another thing for Bitcoin. Let me show you uh, right here. Okay, so the first range, it usually crosses straight up, the first one. And then we start to see some traction and people take profits on the second and maybe the third. So the second is usually yellow to red, and the third is completely red, premium prices, which is very dangerous, no place to invest or buy anything. So let me see if I have to change the name for this too. Okay, so here it is. Based on volatility that we are about to see or not, we will have to figure this out very, very soon. Uh, One of the reasons is, so I can go deeper into this topic, but I will give you guys a hint. Bitcoin volatility, it's playing the other side. Okay. When we are actually to see a lot of volatility, in reality, it is start to fade. Okay. And this is according to the Dow Jones. So Bitcoin is straightly aligned to Dow Jones, which means something we do know for years, that Bitcoin, it is not decentralized as people think. Okay, so this is one of the main evidences. But so let's go. Bitcoin maybe can make a brief stop here around the 100,000. Yes, it is likely, but for a short period of time. The one we are probably going to see is the one into the target, which we talking about maybe 120, maybe $150,000. That's going to be Bitcoin probably top, okay, on this run. Let's say some people will say it cycle. I don't like to use this word, but yeah. When we take a closer look, we have this beautiful pattern, which is bullish. Yes, it's tricky, but it is bullish. Pa, 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 pa. It is not going to match if I go from here to here. Visually, yes. Technically, not. So the proper way is from here. So let's draw two lines. Yes. Oh no, 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 no. No, it is valid. Okay? So please forgive me. Yes, there is validation. Because in the other charts, the working chart, I use other tools. Okay, so that I am used to the other, not to the blank chart. Please forgive me. Yes, this is correct. It is perfect. And here we have the Fed pivot on 18. So we have descending pattern, which is bullish. As I just showed to you guys, this pattern is the in-between, or at this very moment, it's the midway for Bitcoin. It is ranging around the previous top, which is great. So there is not this thing about resistance. Also, one thing that is happening here is miners are bleeding, okay? And they are selling their Bitcoins at a loss. And smart players are aware of this and they are making the best out of it, inflicting pain on miners to fill their bags. It's it's a smart move, right? But again, the net sellers that we see right now, all the big sales of Bitcoin, excluding the German government, are vast majority probably are the miners. Okay, so if someone is wondering who is dumping their bitcoins, it's miners. So yeah, so we are at the very door, and now the question is, what now? What we can expect right now? So we have one day, if I'm not wrong, the result come on the second day of the meeting. So we are very, very close. Okay, things are looking great all over, fantastic. Now about the alt season. So we already talked about many coins and tokens that are looking great. I also mentioned that there are many coins and tokens that are not going to reach its previous highs and not going to make new highs. Okay, so for example, here we have completely stealth to this moment. Probably after this video, it is not going to be. Even though I don't have a big viewers, uh, a lot of viewers, forgive me. But yeah, you guys know how the copycat word works, right? So this is GLM Golem, previously known as, I don't remember the previous tag. So the tag changed. It's GLM now. It's a solid. I'm not making marketing here. Not, you know, it is just reviewing something. I don't make a cent about this, and I don't care about those who do such a things. Okay, so you guys know me better. So it's looking good. It's looking great. And the question that I want to talk with you guys about the out season is a possible window when it can happen. So we do know the direction. We do know the last train already happened. And I'm not trying to nail a day when it is going to take off because we do know the direction. This is the most important thing. And we do know it's very, very close. Very. Okay. The only ones concerned are those who sold, are looking to go back. So they are at a loss already. Okay. So, yeah. So I was talking with my friends on the private group, and I said, it seems it is going to happen on March, but it is also true that we can see the very, very beginning or the early stages in December, okay? Especially after a second uh, cut in the interest rates, which could be the perfect scenario, you know? Again, I don't believe everything will move together, even though it is possible. These market mechanics we will know better very, very soon. One possible explanation is when Bitcoin stops to make a brief correction, leaves a lot of room and capital to go into those small, altcoins and small cap coins and tokens. So this is the monthly chart. If we draw a line here, so here we have December 2025. Let's go for this December. So you see it's very, very close for just straight shoot up. It is possible. Yes, it is. And it's most likely that by December we are not going to be in this range, just like we are not in the same range back in the day when I recorded the out-season roadmap. There was the bottom. Okay, so here, for example, when I recorded that video 1 year ago, 2 years ago, so 16 cents, and right now is at 26 cents. So there will be no opportunity to buy at cheaper price than we already have today. Okay, let's move on. March, where we would be in March here. seems a bit far away, but with enough window to make a proper move. So if it wasn't in the monthly, it would be symmetrical, but you guys got it. Okay. This is enough room, healthy room to have it properly happening. The chances for it to go into December, you see, we will need the big spike to take place to happen in December. So the question is it possible or not? Or it is likely or not? And I can tell you now, we will know better once the Fed cut rates in this next meeting. Then we will have a much better idea. Okay, because if we see, so this is we are early in September. If the out season will take place now, based on the Fed cutting rates, this candle itself would pop up, which is possible. And then not this, not December, not March. Okay, so it's trying to nail. It's very complicated, but having a better perspective or idea about the time window, it's where the honey spot is. Okay. Now, if we do take a look, lasers on Monero, for example, um, here we have December. All these bars, folks, are the seasons pivot. Okay, so it's the tool that I developed, the study a long, long time ago. And March. So one way or the other, it's very, very close. Okay, so who cares if it's going to happen on December or March? We do know that are in the right direction and that we are ready. Okay, so now what are the odds that it is going to happen just now? Autumn pivot, winter pivot, spring pivot. And this, folks, in my humble opinion, just a moment. Background, yes. Okay, so this is all the time frame we got that we have right now to be able to make the magic. And what it means to make profits, to have your strategy, and to be out before things start to be problematic. Okay, so what I mean, this is very important for you to understand this. I do believe that what is about to happen late 2025 or early 2026 will leave a lot of people without action. What does it mean? Especially the exchanges that are solely based on Tether. We do know that Tether it is going to be a tool for the doomsday, or for that it is going to be the public excuse for the crash. In simple terms, if it is true, and we do know it is, most likely all those exchanges will shut down and you won't be able to move your funds, to sell, to exchange, to do anything. So let's say in this case right here, so Monero reaches $2,000, okay? And then you say, okay, fantastic. Now I'm going to take my profits. I'm going to sell to USDT, or I'm going to move, or I'm going to exchange to, for example, to XRP, which is faster, and then cash out. Exchange going down, folks. It's over. By the time the exchange comes back, you will probably, so for, I don't know if I can make the, let's try. So let's say we are here, we go up. By the time you decided to take profits, the exchange shuts down. And by the time it comes back, it's probably going to be something like this. And no, I'm not joking. It is going to be severe. Okay, it is going to be wild. It is going to be catastrophic. It is going to change the whole crypto market mechanics. And I do believe, I strongly believe, exchanges will not be willing to hold with their open wallet the doomsday. I don't think so. I really don't think so. And I also believe that their order books will be relieved from any buying pressure or any key level or any value that any level that holds value, which means instead of having orders in the magnitude of, let's say, 50, 100 bitcoins, 10 bitcoins, it is going to be only fractions just to keep the thing alive. So they will have a X amount of money that will be absorbing little by little, little by little. Then they will have more and more bitcoins to then be ready for when the time comes for even more new highs, which it is not going to happen in the short term. Okay? So, folks, this is very, very important. You have to be not only wise, you have to be fast and relentless. You will have almost zero margin for error. Based on time, knowledge, strategy, action, because it is only profits if it is already in your pockets. Okay? So I was taking a look into Flare and Songbird as well, and we have the same picture. Do I have a YouTube tree? Yes. Just a moment. I don't remember now which is. Is it be true? Yes. Okay. It is not visible on the monthly, but it is on the weekly. So we talked about a possible cup and handle before. Didn't happen. One of the reasons is because the market's not ready, and most likely the evidence is the Fed pivot, because we do know it's a fact. Everything was waiting for the Fed to pivot. This is just for you guys to have an idea about what we are talking about. Possible time frame for the out season. Um, December and March. Both pivots. Okay. Is this enough room, or there is enough room here? Yes, perfect. Crystal clear. Now the question is, we go straight up from here or from here? This is the only remaining question at this moment. Okay? If we take a look into Flare, it's the same thing. 0x, the same thing. Many other tokens and currencies, same thing. Same thing, exactly same thing going on. The only ones who are not in the same scenario like this are the ones who are completely bearish, that in my humble opinion are going to the oblivion, and they are the vast majority, believe it or not. It's Cardano or ADA. Let me give you one example here, folks. So recently, I don't know why, but I started to see a lot of such a patterns like this happening. So, born right here, the incredible run on 2017, 100% plus correction, plus this is harmful, okay, because it went below the 100%. Probably not here, but in some exchanges went below. The comeback makes a marginal higher high. And this is the beginning of the sorrows, folks. Okay, this is very dangerous. And one of the reasons is because Cardano right now, it is just like Ethereum. Okay, you guys probably remember the call that I made for Ethereum. And it seems to me that Cardano, it's on the same boat. The problem is Cardano is not Ethereum, doesn't have the same fundamentals or liquidity behind it, and the damage can be very big. I'm showing to you guys random picks, okay? So this is not by intention or design. So the first pivot broke here, but it's still a valid pivot, right? So what we can do is to move here because this is a higher low against the previous pivot. So we have one, and then here and here, still here, right? So low, higher low, no change whatsoever. This structure right here, it's similar to Ethereum back in the day. It is not the same, but it's similar. And soon, very soon, Cardano is likely, following technical fundamentals here on the chart, to go up as well. So what is the problem and the concern? The concern is that its new high target, it is not a big deal. If we look here, we had 1 in 30, 292, let's say 3. And here if we are going to see a 6, let's go here for a 6. This is a technical limitation. And also we have the big boss here on the 5 range dollars. So Cardano goes. How it goes, we still don't know. If it is now or later. This is the traction point where I do, of course, it is not going to be here. It's going to most likely to be closer. Okay, even though it's a very weak target. Okay, everybody expecting this to happen this way are probably going to not have a good surprise. So whatever it happens, something like this. because some people will be calling this, okay? But then again, just take a look at the time frame that we have. January 2026. Remember, back in December 2019, my call on the markets, Dow Jones, that things were to collapse, I said it would most likely happen by the end of January. But in reality, it happened after the second week of February. So I can't say I was wrong. It's a big call based on multiple months, but 2 weeks and 3 days. So January, maybe it happens again on February. Who knows? I don't know. It is just a guess for now. Soon we will have much better evidence. Okay. But again, do you guys think this is enough room to go for $50? And also, we can deny that calling for such a move after a big sign of weakness. So it's like this. I don't think so. It's highly, highly unlikely. Highly, highly, highly unlikely. Okay. So in my opinion, 5 it is going to be the limitation trigger for Cardano. And the worst is, this is not even the worst. This is actually good news, right? The problem is, just a moment. This is 1 cent range. If so, let's see what the tool tells us. Would you believe that Cardano could go down below to half a cent after $6? This is going to be a conversation for the next video on altcoins. I can make one specific for Cardano, there is no problem. I hold no emotions to talk about such things. And so this is just for the learning curve, okay? And yeah. So again, it is similar with Ethereum. We don't have a lot of time. And also we can't forget, back in the day a report was shared about all the coins and tokens that were highly benefited from Tether Cash. And Cardano was there. Okay? So I'm just saying, folks, it is what it is. Okay? If anything else was involved and I didn't like it, I would report as well. Because it is something that is concerning. You know, it is what it is. We want to know the truth. We want to see the facts, and yeah. Okay, so folks, this is it for now. We talk a lot about things, so it's a lot of information to digest, to think about, and yeah, so it is just a lot. And we are getting very, very close. We are at the door, the very door. And yeah, so let's enjoy what we have at this moment. We still have time to have fun, to make profits, plan a strategy, and then, so this is for me. My plan is to leave before things start to look bad, because I will need to make time. I will need time to make preparations for what is to come. Okay. Uh, the policy for me is, in times like this, zero risk. Zero. I don't want 001. I want zero. Okay. So yeah, so very soon I will be recording another video. And yeah, so that's what we have for now. I hope this video can help you, that all this information can help you guys, that you can do better based on things that are studying, you are learning. And just a moment, let me show to you guys, maybe some of you guys haven't seen. We do have here, it should be here already, just a second. What a shame, it should be ready. So right now we don't have a lot of changes across the board. We don't. Where it is, folks? Just a second. Where are the things when you need it? Okay, so for those of you looking for more information, oh, it doesn't work properly here. I knew it. Okay, so it has to stay like this. Just a second. Yeah, it won't work. It won't. It's because I have two different resolutions here. One monitor is 4K, the other two aren't, because the others are better to work in the charts, you know. But okay, there's no problem. So if you guys want to know, have questions, you want to understand what you are going to learn in the Champions Club, if you have questions, you can ask it directly to me or to the moderators. You guys can send emails and have all your questions answered. There, for example, here, what you are going to find into the Champions Club. Okay, so here it is. There are the tools that we develop, the things that we are working, and there are more in reality. Um, for example, we are working to a new tool, the one that I mentioned, which is for the long-term investors. Can be used to trade as well, but it's not a big deal. For investor is a major thing, and we just are just adapting to become a useful tool on daily basis. Okay, so this is the new development, another tool for our armory, the arsenal, and very soon, because I don't have time right now, I'm going to all the videos that are learning content. I'm going to send the number of minutes to figure out how many hours of learning content we have right now. And just for you guys to have an idea how much you will learn. And that's not all. So let's say, for example, we have not 1,000. So let's say 500 minutes of learning content. We do know that for the learning curve to properly learn, we have to practice. So these 500 minutes automatically move to a potential of 5. So in reality, it is going to be around 2,500 minutes, because you have to go over and over and over, because you have to practice. So for example, you go from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 videos, then you have to go back. That's the way to learn. That's the only way that that thing that you just learned will stick into your brain and be made a home into your memory. Okay, so it is what it is, folks. You guys know I'm not going to say you're going to see my video in the next week you'll become a millionaire. That is not going to happen. That's not how things work. Okay, so here what we want is to learn, to make the best decisions we can do, because we are about to enter, sorry, hard times like never before. And this is not even the worst to come. We are going to have a good time that is not going to last longer after what we are about to witness in the short period of time. Okay, so I don't want to be the one that brings the bad news, but it is the only way for us to prepare, is to know the things that are going to happen. This is the most important thing that we can do right now. Okay, so folks, thanks again. Thanks for a message. Thanks for a kind support. Please forgive me for the big delay, the long time without videos. I've been struggling here. My mom was not well. She had a lot of problems. She's still recovering and been having awful nights. But yeah, so I'm back and slowly one day at a time. And yeah, so thanks again. Thanks for your support. Thanks for everything. You guys are amazing. And I will see you guys soon. And see ya.